much sprinkle or too heavy a shake often accounts for that high salt intake. And what's the benefit to the body? Nothing but an uninspiring sequel. We're in the middle of Salt Awareness Week, being observed under the theme, Shake the Habit. Too much salt isn't the only habit we need to shake. Today's show is fortified with what not to eat and what's good for you, as we help with your diet overhaul. Welcome to another 30-minute dose of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Let's talk health after the news.
Jamaica's COVID-19 vaccination plan is still in effect. If you wish to make an appointment, please do so online by visiting moh.gov.jm or by calling 888-663-5683. Vaccination still a keep. Go get your jab today.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, March 16. A $20 million study has been launched to probe the effects of pesticide use in agriculture on the environment. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, through its Pesticides Control Authority, will oversee the pilot phase of the study, which is being conducted by the University of the West Indies over a 2-year period. At Tuesday's launch, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the study was part of the state's efforts to safeguard food security while protecting public health and the environment.
It is important that we continue to contemplate the linkages between food security and the health of the people of Jamaica and the environment. And the examination that we're going to be embarking on is going to help us significantly to adjust, to get that information, and then critically to use that information to inform policy. Policy that will drive how we deal with our agricultural systems involving the health interests, both of the farmers and the farm families, but also of the consumers.
While underscoring the importance of pesticides to agriculture productivity levels, Dr. Tufton says if misused, pesticides can have a deleterious effect on public health and safety. Data from the ministry's National Surveillance Unit shows that there were 18 confirmed cases of accidental pesticide poisoning in 2021 and 17 in 2020. The Financial Investigations Division, FID, and the Jamaica Customs Agency are set to sign an information-sharing memorandum of understanding. This will include sharing financial profiles or documents for the purpose of preventing, detecting, investigating, and prosecuting corruption, financial crime, and revenue collection. A similar agreement has been signed with the Integrity Commission, Jamaica Constabulary Force, and the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA. Chief Technical Director of the FID, Selvin Hay, says the partnerships will strengthen all the agency's response to money laundering, public corruption, organized crime, fraud, and other financial crimes. Mr. Hay was speaking at a joint digital press conference held recently under the theme Broadening the Application of Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA, across law enforcement.
Today we will be presenting JCF, MOCA, and the JCA with cash seizure booklets and POCA aid memoirs. The booklets will greatly assist officers undertaking cash seizure investigations. It contains the necessary documentation to deal with an initial cash seizure.
The POCA aid memoirs will guide law enforcement officers on key procedures when prosecuting offenses under the Act. Students and staff at the Hart NSTA Trust Jamaican-German Automotive School, JAGAS, now have access to an electric vehicle EV charging station. The charging station was donated yesterday by the Government of Canada to expand the electric vehicle maintenance training at the institution.
While the COVID-19 pandemic may have delayed the planned delivery of the EV Mechanics Train the Trainers course for 35 mechanics from Hart NSTA and other technical institutions in Jamaica, We look forward to continuing the Canada-Jamaica EV partnership and to the expected upskilling opportunities resulting from this cooperation.
Through the joint initiative between Canada and Jamaica, students from JAGAS and tertiary level engineering students will receive a two-part training on electrical vehicle fundamentals and charging infrastructure.
We want to ensure that our trainees are facilitated by equipment that is state-of-the-art and that they themselves are in a position to contribute to the improvement of our skill sets here in Jamaica.
Jamaica's new Water Resources Master Plan is to be launched on March 22, which is observed as World Water Day. At a JIS think tank on Tuesday, Chief Hydrologist at the Water Resources Authority, Jeffrey Marshall, says the entity had been working on the plan for the past 3 years.
So the Water Resources Master Plan is mandated under the Part 1, Section 16 of the Water Resources Act, and it provides objectives for developing our water resources. It provides an inventory of available water, both surface and groundwater resources, also the usage activities that might be impacted by same, and it also looks at current demand and future demand, projected impacts, are we going to have enough water in the future, and it provides methods of how we can best, or suggestions of how we can best manage and monitor and maintain our water resources.
This year's observation of World Water Day is being held under the theme Groundwater, Making the Invisible Visible. And finally, Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, Floyd Green, has been tasked with providing oversight of the National Partnership Council. That's one of the outcomes of the Council's first meeting of the year held recently. Minister Green says the Council will have a new structure that's more inclusive and active, as well as giving the public greater access to information coming out of meetings. In the meantime, Chairman of the National Partnership Council, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, discussed the future of restrictions under the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA. Mr. Holness says the country is moving into a new phase of the COVID-19 pandemic to focus more on personal responsibility and economic recovery. The National Partnership Council was also updated on the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war on fuel prices, the return of students studying in the Ukraine, the reopening of face-to-face school, as well as the health sector's resilience-building efforts against COVID-19. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up. Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence. A whole way of celebrating it. They say the people them in them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, burn up, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal pants of it, you know. Medal. Amount of tongue we give them, you know. The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre. Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
If you don't know the app to get the updates then.
What form your fat comes in, understanding the proportion, benefits, and type is key to maintaining good health. Learn now about the types of fats and the ones you should be avoiding.
The human brain is 60% fat. Fats provide a storehouse of energy for the body and promote normal cell growth and healthy skin. Fat also acts like a cushion and heat regulator to protect the heart, liver, and other vital organs. And as most people would know, fat adds flavor to our food and helps us feel full longer. It is clear that having fat in our diet is beneficial in many ways, but too much or the wrong kind can be equally harmful. Fat is a source of essential fatty acids which help the body absorb vitamins A, D, and E. There are 3 types. Monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids are both considered good fats. The third, saturated fatty acid, is what we are often encouraged to avoid or lower our intake. So too, trans fat, which is created by a process called hydrogenation that makes the fat harder at room temperature to increase the shelf life.
What is in our foods impact on the quality of our lives?
The World Health Organization recommends that trans fat intake be limited to less than 1% of total energy intake, which translates to less than 2.2 grams per day with a 2,000 calorie diet.
Studies have shown that saturated fat increases the amount of bad cholesterol or LDL in the blood and has no effect on the good cholesterol, HDL. Trans fatty acids increase the amount of bad cholesterol in the blood and also reduce the amount of good cholesterol. Diets high in these bad fats are linked to obesity, heart disease, and other cardiovascular related problems. Trans fat also causes malformation of cell membranes and other cell structures in the body, leading to weak cell walls and abnormal cell function. They are not recognized by enzymes and can cause neural degeneration and diminished brain function. So why then is trans fat used? Well, taste and economics. Trans fat makes food stay fresh on the shelf longer and improves food texture and flavor stability. Based on a 2021 assessment of the fatty acids in commonly consumed foods in Jamaica, our intake is very high.
If you look at confectionery, you see how high the percentage is there, and it comes down in several of the other food products. Okay, this is just the percentage that have trans fat. Notice that the canned foods had none at all, or the beverages that we looked at had no trans fat. Okay? But this is just saying whether there was trans fat in the product. What we are even more interested in is which products had high levels of trans fat. In terms of the highest concentrations, more than 2% of fat as trans fat, we see the dairy products, and it goes down like that. And then when we now look at those that had the same products that had high saturated fat, along with the trans fat, we see the figures here.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is looking to change this and encourage better food production and consumption practices.
Healthier alternatives can be used that do not affect the taste or the cost of food.
Knowing what is in our food is part of the way forward. It is a lifestyle change to come through education, product reformulation, regulation, food labeling, and monitoring.
The elimination of industrially produced trans fats is part of a comprehensive policy package to prevent diet-related NCDs, which comprises mandatory food labeling, ingredients lists, nutrition panels declaring trans fats, interpretive front-of-package labeling based on nutrient profiles, restrictions on food marketing aimed at children and adolescents, mandatory standards for healthy food served in schools, and limits on sugar content.
It's not just about our resolve to do the right thing to consume what is in our best interest. That in and of itself is a challenge, because we have to now nudge, encourage, motivate, and in some instances legislate, I believe, certain types of actions to encourage better quality of life from a nutrition consumption standpoint. I think it is essential to advocating in the first instance for voluntary compliance as an immediate response.
As consumers, we have the choice of using naturally occurring unhydrogenated vegetable oils such as canola, safflower, sunflower, or olive oil. We can also limit red meat and choose lean cuts. It is also recommended that we steam, boil, or bake foods instead of cooking them in fats or oils. Another approach is to choose low-fat dairy products, poultry and fish, and purchase processed foods made with unhydrogenated oils rather than partially or hydrogenated vegetable oils or saturated fats. Use soft margarines as a substitute for butter and choose soft margarine over the harder stick forms. Limit consumption of commercially fried foods and baked goods made with shortening or partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. Not only are these high in fat, but it is also likely to be trans fat. And cut back on foods high in dietary cholesterol. Let's eat healthy and live well.
The Travelpod application was created by the Transport Authority for the protection of the commuting public. Please download the Travelpod application on the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. Once you download the application, put in your phone number, register the application under your phone number, and then you'll be able to verify the license plate that you're going in. Once you verify the license plate and the information of the vehicle, you will then be able to share that trip of the vehicle that you're in. And if there is difficulty on the trip, you will then be able to push a panic button and share your location with others as well. Download the application, give us our feedback at customerservice@ta.org.jm. Don't forget, it's free to download, free to use.
Seafood is a good choice for a healthy diet. We now feature the flavors of the ocean to satisfy your palate and boost your body's performance.
We all love our protein. Chicken, beef, pork. But how often do we eat fish? Is it only at Easter time or when you're at the beach? Incorporating more fish into your diet can be very beneficial to your health. Compared to red meats and poultry, fish has far less calories and cholesterol.
It's the saturated fats and the trans fats that our bodies use to make cholesterol. And fish and seafood have very little saturated fat and trans fat. So in truth and in fact, that makes it a very healthy source of protein.
Fish also has iron, which is important for good reasoning and memory, iodine, which can prevent mental problems in children, and selenium, vitamins and carotenoids, which are antioxidants. Who knew that we could get so many nutrients from fish? And that's not all. Incorporating fish into our diet can even reduce the chances of developing certain diseases.
Studies have in fact shown that people who have a higher intake of fish compared to other meat sources have less heart disease, they suffer from fewer mood disorders, and they have less cognitive decline with age, so less dementia.
This is due to omega-3 fatty acids, a nutrient that is only found in a few other food sources, such as walnuts and flax seeds. But oily fish, such as sardines, tuna, mackerel, salmon, and trout, are excellent sources of omega-3s and are readily available at your convenience in supermarkets. So we want to add fish into our diet. In what ways can we do this?
So escovitch fish is one of our favorites. Now the onions and the carrots and the vinegar and the pimento, that's all fine. But we don't want to do a lot of deep frying. Deep frying adds calories. Nothing like a nice steamed fish, a nice roast fish. And when you roast your fish, you can stuff it with wonderful vegetables like callaloo and so on. So we have to find other ways. Many of us have broilers as a part of our stove and we've never utilized it. We don't know how it's used. And that gives us, I think, the closest taste to fried without adding a lot of oil.
So we've got different styles of cooking the fish, but what about flavor? Jamaicans love adding salt, but fish is already salty. Wouldn't that be too much sodium?
If we utilize other things like lime and lemon juice and or fresh seasonings or scotch bonnet pepper or onions or scallion, we can make our fish flavorful without adding a lot of extra sodium.
That sounds really tasty. But watch out for bones. Make sure to debone fish before giving your children. Even if the fish is bought deboned, check for fine bones with your fingers. If you're not careful, you could end up with a medical emergency. The recommended serving size per week is only 8 to 9 ounces of fish, or 2 to 3 servings per week. With an array of health benefits and a variety of ways to cook it, don't miss out on this lifestyle choice. Make a positive impact on your health by adding more fish to your diet.
Up next, information to help you make good nutritional choices for good health.
Eating healthy by having a balanced diet consisting of items from all the food groups and consuming the right portions is important to get the nutrients vital for disease prevention, growth, and good health. Essential nutrients are building blocks for the cells that make up the body, from bone to muscle, skin, and hair. One of the most critical ones is protein, which is made up of different amino acids, some of which the body can make on its own. We need a variety of proteins to function properly, many of which can only come from the foods we eat. Meats, fish, and eggs are essential sources from animals, while plant sources include beans, nuts, and some grains. How much protein you need daily depends on a variety of factors, including how active you are and your age. Carbohydrates are the main nutrients for fueling the body's energy needs, especially our central nervous system and brain. They help protect against diseases, but some carbohydrates are healthier than others. Some healthy sources include your fresh produce, such as yam, banana, breadfruit, and tubers, as well as whole grains, fiber-rich vegetables, and fruits. Less healthy sources include refined grains and products with added sugar. Fats often get a bad rap, but it's important to know that healthy fats are essential to our body's function. Fats aid in vitamin and mineral absorption, blood clotting, building cells, and muscle movement. Fats are high in calories, which is a measure of energy from foods, but the World Health Organization recommends keeping daily calorie intake from fat at under 30%. Including healthy fats, which are the unsaturated fats in your diet, can help balance blood sugar, decrease the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and improve brain function. Healthy fats are also powerful anti-inflammatories and can lower the risk for arthritis, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. Some of the well-known unsaturated fats are the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Sources of these healthy fats include fish, seeds, nuts, and vegetable oils, olive, avocado, and flax seeds. Trans fats are to be avoided, and we should also limit our intake of saturated fats, of which the main sources are animal-based and include butter, cheese, red meat, and ice cream. Vitamins are organic compounds essential for normal growth and are required in small quantities. There are 13 essential vitamins that the body needs, and these help lower the risk of diseases such as lung and prostate cancer. Vitamin A supports healthy vision, skin, and bones. Powerful antioxidants like vitamin C boost the immune system and helps the body heal. Eating a varied and well-balanced diet of fruits and vegetables should supply the body with the required vitamins. Minerals are also important nutrients needed for building strong bones and teeth. They help with regulating our body's metabolism and keeping us properly hydrated. The mineral calcium strengthens bones and teeth and helps with nerve signal transmission. It also helps to maintain healthy blood pressure and with muscle contraction and relaxation. Iron supports red blood cells and hormone creation, while the mineral zinc boosts the immune system and wound healing. The body also needs water, which improves brain function and mood, and acts as a shock absorber and lubricant in the body. Water also flushes our toxins, carries nutrients to cells, hydrates the body, and prevents constipation. Even mild dehydration can make us feel tired and impair concentration and physical performance. In addition to drinking water, we can hydrate ourselves by eating fruits and vegetables such as spinach and watermelon. Start treating your body right. As you grab your next meal, make sure you're getting all the nutrients needed in their right proportion.
Salt Awareness Week aims to highlight a simple but effective approach that we can all take to improve our health, shaking the salt habit. That's the theme for this year's observance as we seek to educate people about the damage that salt can do to their health. Here are some signs that you are consuming too much salt. Number 1, you need to urinate a lot. Frequent or urgent need to urinate is a common sign that you are consuming too much salt. It can also be a symptom of many other conditions, so keep up with your regular health checkups just to be sure. Number 2, persistent thirst. This happens because foods with high sodium content cause imbalance in your body's fluid level. You can make up for this by drinking a lot of water. Number 3, you find food bland and boring. If you feel the need to always add more salt to your food or continuously find food bland, it's probably because you are used to eating too much salt. Over time, your taste buds adapt to the flavor, and that is why you feel the need to add more salt to food. Number 4, frequent mild headaches. Some headaches are dehydration induced. Consuming too much salt is likely to give you headaches in short intervals. In addition to consuming less salt, drink lots of water to remedy this. Beyond telling people to eat less salt, food manufacturers must also make an effort to reduce the salt content in their packaged or prepared products. This year, we join the world in asking the food industry to shake its salt habit so that we can all live longer, healthier lives, and help make our country the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
From the bitterness of disease, man learns the sweetness of health. That's a Catalan proverb. Let's avoid that bitter stage by eating properly and maintaining a balanced diet. We hope from today's show you'll make the right first step towards good health or continue on the journey if that's where you already are. And if you need any more reinforcement, how about watching the many other programs on our YouTube channel? Also, you can visit our website and our Facebook and Instagram and Twitter pages for more information. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.